another video. Throughout the many Wings of Fire books, we have explored a lot of different places. Pyrrhia and Pantala just have so much to offer with their varied ecosystems, geology, and cultures. Because of that, there are countless more places I'd either like to see for the first time, since we haven't gone there yet, or travel back to. And with Book 16 taking us somewhere entirely new next year, I thought it'd be the perfect time to talk about all this. So today, I'll be discussing all the most interesting spots on the continents that definitely deserve to be explored. But before I begin, a huge shout out to my patrons. Driver95, Thistle, Noopto, Pyronuke, Avril, Pancake, Escarada, Adequin, Alex Cleaver, Shadow Hunter, and Atlas Stargazer. Thank you all so much for supporting me. Links to their social medias are in the description down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. Starting with the Ice Kingdom, there are dozens of spots I want to see. In the guidebook, we were luckily able to learn about some of the different Icewing villages. They were something mentioned a few times in the books and alluded to on the Pyrrhian maps, but getting a peek into the culture of the Frost Dragons outside the palace was just great. I'd really love if we got to see an even bigger POV someday of someone who hatched in one of these towns. Seeing how they use the animus enchantments that keep them alive would be so awesome. I just enjoy imagining what their houses, stores, and other buildings look like out in the cold. And think about the even smaller settlements, like ones not marked on these maps. What are the lives of Icewing workers? Fishermen, ice sculptors, estate managers, and more. Moving down to a warmer kingdom, there are lots of areas I want to see from the Land of Sands. I'm sure there are countless oasis-side villages to explore, full of cultures and living styles of their own, far away from the palace, and maybe buried beneath the sands. Imagine what beach life is like, and how the dragons there differ from ones who choose to live in the harsher parts of the desert. Then there's the Lost City, which was the ancient home of the Nightwings. Though this place ended up abandoned for over 2,000 years, it's now being resettled by some dragons who chose to leave the rainforest. Specifically, Starflight's sister, Fierceteeth, is leading in the rebuilding of this area. There's so much renovation that could be done. The guidebook had me super excited to learn about the characters now inhabiting this space, and I really want us to go back there someday. Living among the ruins is just an awesome concept, and there's a lot the Nightwings could build there, or discover. If we don't go back to Lost City again, now known as Renewal, it'd feel like a huge wasted opportunity to me with what was teased in the guidebook. We could literally get an entire novel's worth of exploration, considering all that was left behind and never found by scavenging claws. Think about all the libraries, the Great Palace, the manors, and everything else that still sits there, despite being worn down. Then there's the Sea Kingdom, which is practically limitless with opportunity. We've really only gotten to see the palace in a few parts of the ocean, but just think about how much is out there and the other types of sea wings we could encounter. I've always loved daydreaming about the types of homes these aquatic dragons have and how they're nestled away from it all. Maybe there are even sea wings who live in deep abysses or other natural ocean structures. They could be so different from all the characters we've seen, especially if they're not reached by the Queen or her diplomats. Up next is the Mud Kingdom, which we have to return to in Arc 4. I mean, it's just so cool. Think about all the dragons just lost in the swamps and marshes, living lives of their own. Maybe there are even some who kept to the parts of the kingdom ignored by royalty in an attempt to save their sibs from being part of the war. There's tons of uncharted territory here, especially with how overlooked the Mudwings are. Not just narratively, but also in-universe too. Additionally, there's the Rainforest, now ruled by Queen Glory. Despite its size, I just know this kingdom has tons of secrets. Think about all the unexplored sections of the trees, maybe with mysteries and secrets belonging to the ancient tribe members. I'd love if we got to look around here again someday, and maybe find out information that's been hidden the entire time. There could be special areas where the oldest rainwings used to live, that are now lost to the rainforest. Then, of course, to end off Pyrrhia, there is the Sky Kingdom. I've been wanting us to see more of this place forever. When you think about the home of the Skywings, you mostly just picture endless mountain stretches, the iconic royal palace, and the gladiator arena, once used for another purpose. But with how massive this territory is, I know there's so much more for us to see from it. Imagine all the different types of Skywings. There are probably ones who choose to keep to the forest, making the treetops their sky. Or there are others buried in the middle of the mountains, surviving off of birds from their spots in the caves. And then there are the dragons perched up at the top, right by the tips of the clouds. They'd need so much more resourcefulness to make it, which would be very reflective of their lifestyles and culture. The Skywings in general are a tribe I just want to see more sides of. I love imagining more about their religion, funerary practices, jewelry meanings, and more. So to see a whole different part of the tribe someday would be magnificent, especially some that are impartial to the throne. And of course, as we know, Wings of Fire doesn't just end there. Across the sea, there lies a whole other continent, one bursting with potential. Pantala is rather different though, as it's not as closely tribe and kingdom split. In general, I really would do anything to see more of the remaining hives, especially with how they'll operate now under a whole new merged rule. And think about what lies in the deepest corners of the poison jungle, because there's no way even the leafwings have gotten to see it all yet. I bet there are secrets and adventures to be found in there alone, and maybe even from ancient dragons. Think about all the surviving forest on the other side of Pantala too. What's happening there, and will anyone go to it now that the war is over? Pantala is massive, and we don't know much else about it besides its plains and jungles. There's a lot of uncharted land that easily could surprise us. Wings of Fire definitely has a lot to show, even though we're going to be moving away from the mainland for the hybrid prince. In future novels, winglets, and other content, it'd be a blast if Tui could show us more of this world that we haven't even begun to imagine yet. But that's pretty much it for this video. Which parts of the kingdoms do you want to see? And what do you guys think about all this? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.